Hello, everyone. This is an introduction to the Southern Illinois Violence Prevention Project request for proposals. These proposals are due August 2nd, 2019 at 5 p.m. They can be emailed to Robin Dodd at kidscourtsandschools@gmail.com. This bidders conference is available on YouTube. This YouTube video will be, information will be posted within the RFP so that folks can come back and visit. In addition, questions can be either emailed to any of the core team, myself, Matt Buckman, Robin Dodd, the executive director, or retired Chief Judge George Timberlake, who is the principal investigator and project director for this project. You can email us, or you can post a question in the comment box under the YouTube video. This is where any of the information that is, or any of the questions that are asked of us and any responses that are provided to applicants, this information will be posted, both posting the question and the response to the question, so that all information that is shared is publicly available to all applicants. At this particular time, unfortunately, we're not able to answer questions that are private to a specific organization. It's important that during this RFP process that information is shared and that all applicants are receiving the same benefit and the same information. So the YouTube video will be available. If you're not familiar with Southern Illinois Violence Prevention Project, it is a project within the Illinois Association for Juvenile Justice Councils. This organization is coordinating a 6-county project that's been in existence for approximately 2 years. This project is focused on 12 to 24-year-olds within that 6-county region. The RFP is specifically targeting organizations and services that can be provided in Jackson, Jefferson, and Franklin counties. These particular counties, there will be a couple of options that we would encourage organizations or individuals to apply to become providers for the Southern Illinois Violence Prevention Project. This project is funded by the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, which is part of the Illinois state government. Although this information is provided and funded by ICJA, the opinions, the information that's shared here may not represent ICJA's opinions or position on certain topics, but instead is a support of the Southern Illinois Violence Prevention Project. The project duration is September 1st to June 30th, 2020. So September 1st, the applicants will be due on August 2nd, and then we're hoping to be able to begin services September 1st. As I talked about before, eligible proposals are organizations or individuals that have the appropriate credentials to be able to provide services, including evidence-based therapies, youth development, or case management within Jefferson, Jackson, or Franklin counties. A secondary source or proposal is that we're considering organizations that are able to provide multi-systemic therapy, or MST, or wraparound, high-fidelity wraparound specifically. Some of the evidence-based practices that are encouraged and required within the program, Southern Illinois Violence Prevention Project can only support one of these evidence-based practices. However, organizations are not required to provide each of these evidence-based practices. One of those practices is cognitive behavioral intervention for trauma in the schools. Another is trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. These particular practices are looking at the risk factors that are involved with individuals who have experienced previous trauma, the effects that might have on them, the likelihood or increased likelihood that they may be involved in both victimization or perpetration of future violence. And so we want to do early intervention to actually prevent future involvement in the justice system or delinquency. In addition, if individuals have already shown some type of struggle with disruptive behavior concerns, or with violence or delinquency involvement in the justice system. We have a couple of other treatments that we would support, and that is Washington Aggression Interruption Training, WAIT, multisystemic therapy, MST, functional family therapy, FFT, or high fidelity wraparound for individuals who might need more intensive interventions. Lastly, we have individual and family case management. This is typically provided by family resource developers. Family resource developers are family peer providers, so individuals who have navigated the system for their own youth or their own child, or maybe navigated for a sibling or another person that they might have been a caregiver for, and having navigated that system, whether that's the justice system or the mental health system or maybe the special education system or maybe another system, that's that lived experience that provides them the qualifications to be able to provide good care, engage families, and support individuals and families as they navigate throughout our systems of care. Youth development programs are also eligible for the provision of services. That includes Botman Life Skills or other CBT-based youth development type programs, Youth Build, or Restorative Justice. All of those are eligible services that can be supported through this RFP. It's required that each organization will use the Childhood Experiences Survey. This Childhood Experiences Survey is an expanded ACEs or Adverse Childhood Experiences tool. And so this expanded tool requires a cutoff score of 4 or more ACEs with approximately 17 different ACE items that are asked. And so we believe that to be a lower threshold in the intention to be able to identify youth and young adults earlier in the process and to be able to provide those supports to those individuals that may not be available with other programs or with other funding sources. In addition, following a screener, what we would encourage is that those who do meet qualifications, those individuals are, that information submitted to the Southern Illinois Violence Prevention Project with a turnaround time of within 72 hours. We will have approved that referral and confirmed that those individuals are eligible, as well as sending a progress monitoring tool that is an online tool for clinical progress monitoring to that provider or organization. In the meantime, or parallel to that, a comprehensive assessment can be conducted. The IMCANS, or Illinois Medicaid Comprehensive Assessment of Needs and Strengths, is one tool that many providers are utilizing and is an approved tool, but there may be another comprehensive assessment that would be preferable for your organization or your practice to be able to conduct a comprehensive assessment. There are 3 types of funding models that are available through this RFP. One of those funding models is a fee-for-service model in which providers that are at least qualified mental health professionals, that those individuals are able to get reimbursement for $75 per hour for services, or family resource developers are able to get reimbursement for $50 an hour for those services. If using this model, if this is the determination, then this model does not allow for reimbursement from any other mechanism, and that providers are not able to also charge another project or the individual additional cost for that or additional billing for that particular service. The second model is a cost-sharing model, in that 50% of the cost of creating a mental health professional or FRD position or supporting the existing provider that's there that hasn't been able to become sustained yet with other reimbursement mechanisms, that particular model will cover up to 50%, meaning a person would be devoted 100% to Southern Illinois Violence Prevention Project, and 50% of that can be reimbursable through us, through this project and this particular RFP, while the other 50% can be reimbursable through other sources of reimbursement like Illinois Medicaid or or private insurance or other types of mechanisms that might exist, maybe with other contracts. The third model is a case rate model. This model includes all costs associated with the provision of multisystemic therapy or MST and high fidelity wraparound. The maximum allowable case rate for MST is $10,000 per case. We have funds for up to 6 cases for the next fiscal year. In addition, for high fidelity wraparound, the maximum allowable case rate is $7,600 for each case for up to 6 cases. These individuals or organizations are expected to provide these services to Fidelity for the evidence-based practices. The total budget allocation for this RFP is $259,350 and is broken up in multiple ways with a certain amount that's devoted specifically to multisystemic therapy and wraparound, which may total around $107,000, while the rest is devoted to a multitude or different types of services that might be available for one provider to provide within a county, including several evidence-based practices that were discussed. Now there's a list of some of the unallowable costs. To complete this, what we would require is that there's an organizational name, if that's applicable, and then who is the applicant, who's the agency representative. If there's a DUNS number, DUNS numbers are not required for individual applicants for this. So if someone's an independent practice and they don't have a DUNS number, that's okay. You're still eligible to apply. You just don't have to put that there. Address, phone number, email address. Within the review criteria, we've broken it down for the points that are eligible for each section. So what we ask is that you're able to identify the section by a heading and then to answer the information that is asked about previous history, some of the capacity that your organization might have or that the individual provider might have or experience that they might have that would be applicable to ensuring that this program is run successfully and that they're able to expand and provide additional services to individuals that are 12 to 24 years old that are identified as Southern Illinois Violence Prevention Project clients. And then proposed program. What do you plan on doing? Which evidence-based practices do you intend to implement within your organization or within your practice? And what type of other activities do you plan to participate in or provide? Who are the staff that are available? Now, remembering that qualified mental health professionals are required to provide therapy services, and family resource developers have to have that lived experience. And I would say that you also want to include if anybody's licensed or has certifications, such as a certified family peer provider or licensed in social work or psychology or counseling. Propose an implementation schedule and what that schedule will look like, how much time that you might need to be able to ramp up. And I'm going to adjust this for September 15th, 2019. No later than September 15th would be the hope for this. And then a budget. What are the expenses? How much do you anticipate? So if you're doing a 50% cost sharing, how much do you anticipate that the cost of that position would be? And planning on getting reimbursement from this grant for up to 50% of that position, or case rate or hourly fee-for-service reimbursement, and how many hours it might be, your case rate, and how many clients that you plan on serving. And then lastly, goals and objectives, performance indicators, identifying what are the common objectives that you would be able to map onto. What we ask is that you answer each one of these for the number of screenings conducted that you propose, number of assessments you propose to conduct. What I'd anticipate is that there would be more screenings than there would be assessments, that not everyone's that's screened will meet the need for assessment, and not everyone assessed will end up becoming then a client or will be provided one of those evidence-based practices that you may be proposing. So filling out this information and also considering what is realistic for you, what can you realistically obtain or address within your communities. For specific services, the number of individuals you propose to be able to serve. And if there's something that's not applicable, just remove that item. So if you're not able to meet one of the objectives that's listed here, remove that item and your proposal will still be considered. Individuals will be considered based on what they can realistically propose and accomplish, while also considering whether or not that meets the needs of the area and of the project. Thank you all very much for listening to this bidders conference and information about the 2020 fiscal year 2020 RFP for the Southern Illinois Violence Prevention Project. We hope that this project will help expand, promote, support the services that you see that are needs of the organization or of the community that you serve. And we appreciate your time today. Feel free to reach out to us, post a question in the comments for YouTube, and we can provide a response to that. Send an email to any of us with a question. Any question that we do receive, the question without identifying who the question came from, the question will be posted in the YouTube comments section, and a response will be provided in that comment section as well, so that you can come back to that link anytime you need to be able to determine and learn more about the RFP to have the best shot. So we wish you well. Good luck with the proposal writing. Feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.